stumbled upon a very good idea. He suddenly realized that by fastening a stick to a rock, like this, he could extend the length of his arm, like this, and thereby greatly increase the force of his blow, like this. Thus was born the world's first practical hand tool.
Hey guys, it's Ed again. Well, we are out here in the garage and working a little bit on the Galaxie, trying to do some metal work. I picked up some new bead roller attachments for my Harbor Freight bead roller that I've had for years. They're offset dies, so hopefully they're going to allow us to make a better I guess stamping, sort of, or a reproduction of a stamping is what we're trying to build. So here, I'll show you. Okay, so here's a piece of tin I got in here. I don't know, it's probably like 20 gauge. It's recycled out of the back of a cabinet, and you can see I've got it laid out. And then over here, you guys can see the indentations that I'm trying to sort of reproduce. They don't have to be perfect. This is the bead roller. Here are the offset dies that I'm using, and they seem to work pretty good. I just ran a trial piece. I'm going to run another piece of this material to see. The only problem with this machine is it's hand operated, and you need two hands to work that end and one hand to work over here. So I'm pretty sure you need three hands. I don't have three hands. Somebody asked about a brake one time. I do have a brake that I made. This is my homemade brake. Just a piece of angle iron that I've ground flat. Underneath here are valve springs to lift it up, and then the handle just pops up. If you have to get something in, you got a little slice here that'll help if you need to. Almost works like a finger sometimes, but as you can see, I built that in 2008. That was a few years ago. So anyway, I'll bring it back when we get a little more work done. Okay guys, well, we're gonna show you how this thing works. It's kind of tough with one person, but we'll do our best. Okay, here's our piece of tin. I don't know if you can see it. We're in direct sunlight out here, so it's pretty bright. But I got it kind of marked out the way we want to do it, and we'll see if we can roll it. Okay, first pass. Show you what we made. You guys can see, not the straightest thing, but when your handle's over there and you're trying to roll it over here, it makes it a little challenging, but let's put a couple more in it. So if you want the bead to go the other way, just start on this side of it. This one here, we start kind of in the middle of the panel. Give it a little pinch. Some roll. So this is what you end up with. And to see, almost like the bed of a pickup. Hard to do by one hand, you know. You're in the wrong position to roll. That's why they convert these things over to, you know, motorized. Because the hand crank kind of sucks. Well, guys, the clock on the wall, you guys want to see, I think says 5 o'clock. So it's 5:15 on Sunday. And I think I'm done. I'm tired out. But we got a little bit done. Slow going. But as you guys can see, I've got the pans in it, sorta. Got the angle where it comes up over there, kinda. Made a support that goes underneath, goes all the way down, comes over to here. Not too bad. I might cut a little bit more off this corner right here, just because I think I can get it to drop down a little deeper. And I'll put some screws in it like I did here. I just screwed it together to kind of draw it together tight, and then once we get it where I want it, I'll start welding it in and start banging, you know, this shut where it's bent, you know, kind of working it in. It works good with the torch or with the welder when you put heat to it. Weld a little, whack it, weld a little, whack a little more. I don't know if you guys can see, but I put a little boo-boo over there. I put a little too much of a bend in it. Had to flatten it out and try that again. But, yeah, I didn't put any body lines in this one. There is, I think there's a couple that are supposed to be in it, but I was getting tired and figured, what the heck. I think it'll be just fine once it gets welded in. And, you know, I think it looks pretty good down here. I kind of left this in it, you know, because that's kind of like a stiffener going this way. And so that should stiffen it up good there. And there's a support right there, you know, so a couple inches back it'll have a support, and then it's just welded right there. So it's not very far. So, and I'm not really concerned if it oil cans or whatever. I want to be able to get my fuel cell in. And it's sitting up there waiting, nice and shiny one. But there's no sense of putting the fuel cell in if I didn't have anything to hold it up or keep some of the road slop off it. So, hey guys, well, let's look at the bottom side. You can see the body lines, or whatever you want to call them, that I stamped into it. See this cross member I built? It's a little crooked. Kind of wobbled on me there a little bit, but I don't care because it's under the car. It's welded on up there. Got a little gap right there. You guys can see where it doesn't quite hit the old floorboard, but I think it's a pretty close representation. If I wanted to, I could probably, yeah, I could almost put some screws in that and draw that up, and then weld, put a couple spots of weld. Same thing over here. It's got a little gap there, but now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out. We're going to mark the fuel cell on the top. We're going to cut out a little square rectangle shape. That'll let the fuel cell drop down. Hopefully it won't hit this cross member. I think it's behind it. Knowing my luck, it's right on that cross member. We'll have to look at that and see. And if it is, we'll figure that out. But other than that, then we'll be able to run the new fuel line, get rid of this old rusty critter. I've got new fuel line for it. It's over there on the shelf. There. So you guys can see. That's the new brake line. And that's the e-brake cable, which no, there's no e-brakes on it. There is an e-brake cable going that way though, but I don't think I ever had an old car that had an e-brake anyway. They were always rusted off. So yeah, that's another project there. We got to fix this spring. It's a wonder this thing sets as level as it does with that bent spring. The leaf springs out of a Dodge, full-size Dodge, like a 2000 Ram 1500, are really close to the right length. You just have to re-drill the center hole and then slap those in here, and you can put a set of Dodge springs in it, get those out of the junkyard. Anyway, we'll take you up on the top, show you what the top looks like, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, this is what we come up with. I spared you some cursing and swearing, and especially when it came down into this corner, but I actually tried to make it so it was actually, you know, dished out in here. So this is, it's hard to tell from that angle, but you know, I built this kind of dishes down, and then this dish is down, kind of like it does over here. Let's see, it goes over here and then it dishes down, then it dishes down again. So I tried to reproduce it to the best I could. It's tough because you're welding rust, but it still oil cans a little, but it's a lot better than a big gaping hole. At least that's what I think. I think I'm going to try to put some, you can see up there, I took the end of the hammer and beaned it a few times and took the oil can out of it. You know, stretched the metal a little bit so it wouldn't make that boink, 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 boink sound, you know, like this. Ready? Where is it? Doesn't do it there, doesn't do it there, doesn't do it there. Just this piece needs to have it beaned a little bit. But that's what I come up with. I think it looks pretty decent. You can see took a lot of welding back in there. Throw a little light in there, you guys can see a couple different pieces of tin that I had. Just kind of spot welded them in. I could take those screws out. You can see I used the screw. Where is it? Can't even see it. It's there though. Right there. I used that screw to hold the metal down before you could weld it. And then you can really see where I dished this out. I used the, over there I got the shrinker stretcher and the bead roller, and between the both of those we were able to create this kind of recessed twisted piece here that come out pretty good. And then got it welded in. Not much to weld to back here. We may put a couple more spot welds back there, but I think that'll work just fine. So, a lot better than it was. At least the gas tank won't fall out of it, I hope. So, I've got the tank right there. We'll have to do a little search in here because this has like a sump on it. Here, I gotta set you guys down for a minute because, well, that's a lot heavier than it looks. So let's take a look at it in there. So I think, is that about centered? No, not even close. Something like that maybe. Yeah, right about there. But you guys can see that I'm going to cut right up in there to put the recess that. Put a pencil mark on it or a Sharpie mark. We'll cut that and recess it so we can drop that tank down, and then those fittings will be on the outside of the car instead of the inside of the car. It'll tip it'll head a little more, but it's probably almost level there. But the trunk tips down a little bit this way. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna finish this video off right here. Sorry I didn't take you through all the welding, but it was cut, weld, hammer, hammer, cut, weld. You know, kind of the idea. But it came out pretty good, I think. Better than it was. So thanks again for watching, subscribing, and commenting. And maybe the next time we'll put the fuel tank in her and fire her up on her own blood instead of pumping it from the jug on the floor. So, bye.